right, listen, let's get to it. Let's get straight into it, actually. And if you don't mind, I'll start with you, Brew. Is it okay if I call you Brew?
That's very okay.
Wonderful, thank you.
I call him Eben.
Hey, that's what you call
That's answerable. That's especially for answerable, so.
That's very Ghanaian, actually, isn't it? Eben. Yes.
Eben, morning, no.
Good morning, answerable.
Good to hear your voice.
And to hear yours on Joy again.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Eben never misses the Super Morning Show.
Oh,
never.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, if I can help it, yes.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, we are truly privileged. Truly privileged. Yeah. So, the first thing I wanted to ask you was this. I mean, why does drama and theater play such an important role in the Ghanaian identity today?
I sat under the tutelage of many excellent tutors who became my mentors, like Professor Martin Owusu, Mary Rienchi, Cedric Rienchi, and the famed, I call him Professor Mohammed Ben Abdallah, even though some people thought they could withhold the professorship from him. But one thing Mohammed Ben Abdallah said, he said, we were born with theater, and the baby that's behind his mom's back, Orisu Funana Arisa, we're born with it. It's in our bones, and for many years, Abdallah would say, look, many of you encounter Caucasians, and they can't really move to the beat. We are gifted with it right from inside, so it's a part from us. It's a part of us. And he said something very significant. He says, right long before the Brody came and gave it a name that was not familiar with us, it was Agur. A.C. Sutherland said Anansi Grow. Abdullah thought it was beyond that, because a bigger is Agur, and our favorite stage light was the moon, and some famous hunter comes home, he has a story to tell. The community gathers around him, and we're performing, and stories are being told, not for telling's sake, but to nurture the society and to tell them that, look, this is how to live. But it's couched in such a way that they enjoy it, and the community is a part of the process of the storytelling. When kids begin to fall asleep, some drama hits the drums, and they all join in, they dance a bit. There's a bit of a lull, music lull, and then they get back to the story, and they're all caught up in it. It shapes us. It's part of our education. Through that, we were taught many things. And they say children learn through play. And I think we knew that intrinsically. And so that's how essential theater is to us. I mean, even before the name was given at Brunei the Bay, the Wofan theater, in our own way. So that's what I'll say by way of introduction.
That is fascinating. And in fact, the introduction of that expression, Agur, is something I would like us to explore in a short while, because I wonder whether that has influenced where we place it in our minds. This important and amazing art, where we place it in our minds, whether we still consider it to be something frivolous, easy. We call comedian. We say comedian. We describe comedians as, hey, Wijimu, right? Do we have a certain view of the arts, especially when it comes to theater, which really doesn't match the skill and talent that goes into it?
Oh yeah, I don't know when that began, and all this. Let me call it self-denigration of a beautiful gift that I believe God gave all mankind. Really, my mother used to say, "Forbi yesrum," and even yako funeral. Sometimes in the pain, you get somebody there who comes who that throws something light-hearted, so you can swallow the pain. The capsule that kind of douses the pain that's within the capsule.
Yeah.
So, but we begin to play it down and think, when the Frankie says, "Kozi wanjinzo wajistie," it's deep.
Yeah.
He says, well, we've embellished the story and so on, so you can contain it. But it could fear you really look at the seed of the story. But if we begin to dwell on just the vehicle by which the information was given us as then we're losing it. And then we don't place the value that we should place on it. And that's where we can. Agor here doesn't mean something that's, as you use the word, frivolous. No. I've watched, if you watch a pediatrician attending to baby, a true pediatrician, they have a lovely way. And sometimes by the time the needle pricks the baby, before it could be let out a scream, it's out, and the baby's smiling again. That's what drama is supposed to be, so we can take it. This check, you studied, and as the was not supposed to make us naughty like Kwekwana, but you look at him and say, hey, in this situation, now you get into trouble. And so, but if we decide to think that because somebody who is telling the story is being a bit jocular, you think, oh, Jim, I don't know where that concept came from. And sadly, we carried it even to academia. When I entered the School of Performing Arts in 1987 to read for my diploma in drama, somebody in the university, went and you see that some of the lecture halls had this signboard there, silence, lectures in progress.
Yeah.
And somebody deliberately came and put the same thing at the Department of Dance and Drama and all and obviously there are drums playing here and there, and then you see silence, lectures in progress. And there was a Legon journal, and somebody who was supposed to be knowledgeable put it there. I saw an old version of that, and it says, "Is it not ironic that the nauseous department has this put there and says silence, lectures in progress?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. So we that's why over the years, maybe you recall, I remember early this morning, somebody said, that's our Daryl Powell saying Denzel Washington. But I don't think that the beautiful talents we've seen like Majid and so on received their due in their time as they should have.
Indeed.
Because some had a back of it. We really thought, but if we can look at it more seriously, it shapes society more than we see. I mean, if you joke with this field, it would joke with us. I mean, Michael Jackson wears the trousers with his socks, Aboski and his socks wearing, and all our children were wearing it.
Yeah.
So if you think you have influence, think again.
Indeed.
We come to you when we can shape thinking, we can shape everything.
Yeah.
So this is a powerful tool that can make or mar our society. We dare not handle it, but we can.
That's a very important point, actually. Drama is supposed to be a delivery system for serious and important messages to the masses.
Right.
Yeah. Uncle Ebo, now,
I'm enjoying listening to him.
I know, right?
Can we continue hearing?
Well, we will. I mean, we still have Brew Riverson Jnr. on the line, so we're going to have more from him. Uncle Ebo, you actually, if I may say so, restarted a drama renaissance in Ghana at a time when, even though drama was evolving quite well on other platforms, electronically, digital TV and so forth, stage performance seemed to have gone into a bit of a lull until you came along with this, your regimented routine of consistently coming out with these plays every quarter, which you've stuck to until today. But I'm wondering about how things were at the time when you wanted to make something big out of something that people were not paying as much attention to as they used to in the past.
Let me go back to what the point you made about Agor when he said Agor, and you felt that could that be the reason why we tend to be dismissive of this craft? And indeed, not only of this craft, of everything in the arts, because it is not only those of us who perform, who are actors, who tell stories that were looked down upon in our society, but even musicians. Until recently,
True.
Bands boy, the term bands boy was a very negative term, and so it is not just about those of us in theater per se, but let's pick, because we're talking about theater, let's pick it. Society has a very interesting way of putting value on you. The pioneers of theater in Ghana, the Kakekus, the OJs, and the like. This morning, I was quite excited to hear you guys rattling the names of
Winston watched them all perform.
Oh, the Masayali and Johnson and
yes,
Bobs.
Yes. And there was this one. There was a teacher at Insawam, Opia.
Yeah.
Who was fantastic. Anyway, what happened is that they could hardly sustain a good, decent living from this craft. So you tended to see them among the poor of the poorest. And because of that, we did not respect them. We did not respect them because we hadn't rewarded them enough. We took, for a long time, Ghana has always taken the creative gifts for free, for nothing. If you went and sang at a party and you decided they should pay, 5 minutes here, they do not realize the value of it. If somebody is picking your creative material, he picks it and doesn't see anything wrong with it. So we haven't rewarded creativity in Ghana. And in Ghana, whatever we don't reward, it means that the people who are called into it, and could you listen, some of these things, it chooses us, we don't choose it. So whether there is reward inside it or not, you can't help but gravitate towards it. So it is easy to say, if there's no money in there, stop it and go and do something else. He can't do anything else. Not that he can't apply himself to anything else. He will not find fulfillment in anything else. And it's because he's been commissioned for this. He's been called to this. This is what brings him makes him come alive. And yet, this is the very thing that people think, but so you just pass through. And so, we found these people. He says he's in a concert party, and unfortunately, the irony is that this thing makes you famous. If I am a nobody walking by the roadside and taking trotro, nobody notices me. But I just saw you on TV, and you are in trotro. Meanwhile, I'm in trotro not because I want to be in trotro. You think if I get Benz, I no go try. But I'm in trotro because society hasn't rewarded me for what God had given me to this society to do. And then because, he's in trotro, then. And it is not only for those in theater. When the economy got tough, even civil servants were not that respected when I was growing up. If you're a civil servant, you had a lot of respect. Teachers. The respect my generation had for teachers, this generation do not have for teachers. One of my friends went to teach in one of the elite schools. And of course, trying to make ends meet. And then he closed one session with, okay, guys, see you on Monday. And one of the children raised a hand. Sir, in the same shirt?
Was he? That's a violation. Oh my goodness.
The point I'm making is that so,
Why am I laughing? I feel so bad.
Society will not give you respect, no matter what you're doing. I remember my generation. If you wanted to play soccer, it would be beaten out of you because there was no money in there.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll go to the stadium and watch footballers, but I'm a member of the ball. Do you understand me? And I tell the story that I still remember a goal I never scored. One of my true pass, 50-50 with the goalkeeper. I am a 100-meter runner, champion. Do you understand? And then I hear from the spectators, Kwabena umami bo. And I had a choice between going after the ball and scoring or being grabbed by my mother in the park in the full view of all my peers and being whipped. I'm near because Fufura is ready. I should come and pound.
Uh-huh. You know? And she, of course, is the mother of a 100-meter champion, so she is likely to catch you.
Oh, she will catch me. Oh, my mom will catch me. And so I had to. But the point I'm making is that in those days there was no money in it. Today, when people give birth, the generation, your generation and the generation of Winston, as the baby lies in the cot and is throwing the leg, then they go and stand by a lefty in a dahono, and things like that. We are already. If your son came and said, "I want to be a footballer," you will not frown. My generation, your father will slap you. Why? There was no money there. And so we did not respect the footballer. Till Dabedi Pelis and co came, Europe opened up for them. And then suddenly, it became something different. So we cannot discuss the value society places on you out of your income levels and
the economic context of it.
The economic context of it. And because we struggle to be rewarded adequately, we'll continue to struggle.
In fact, when we come back from these messages, I want us to go a little bit deeper into that. I mean, we'll talk about the industry itself, the economics of it, what really needs to be happening for it to be even more lucrative so that people get the proper reward for the unique talent that they are exhibiting.
Yeah.
But also when we return, I'm from Gomwardena. I grew up in Cape Coast. Winston is a Fanti. Wasa, sorry. But you actually speak very good Fanti as well.
He's Wasa.
Yes, grew up in Takrady.
Various places.
Yes. Uncle Ebo Whyte is from Elmina.
No, my roots. Yes. But I was born and raised in Kumasi.
In Kumasi, which is a matter of record.
South.
Yes. But your roots are
South
from
Central.
Elmina. Yes. Ebenezer Henry Brew Riverson Jnr. I don't have to explain. Obviously a Fanti.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
When we come back, are some tribes just more talented in terms of theater than others? We'll explore when we return.
Your morning radio.
Okay, right, let's get back to it. And Brew Riverson Jr. is on the phone with us. Uncle Ebo Whyte is in the studio. Now, Brew, when you were explaining the seriousness that lies behind the expression of agur and all of that, Uncle Ebo, made the point that another reason why people seem to not realize the high art form that drama is that it doesn't pay. I mean, talk to us about your experience here. I have no doubt things may be a little bit better today than they were back then. But what exactly is it? What creates this gap? Right, I think we may have to reset that line. with Brew Riverson Jnr. so that we can get a clearer connection with him. It was hard to hear him there. But while we're waiting to get him back on the line, Uncle Ebo, I mean, the same situation really as a practitioner.
Yeah.
What is it that makes the money, that blocks the money from getting into this industry?
I produced my first play in 1974.
50 years ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, funded with our money, and like I said, your pocket money. Carried furniture from our homes
Wow,
to the then art center. Nobody got paid because at that time, people were offended if you even consider charging at the gate. So you let them in, and then you take an offering.
Oh.
And then of course when that happens, if they know they would have paid 10 cedis at the gate, because it's a free will offering, he's putting in 5 pesos into the bowl. By the time you are done, you have nothing to go home. So those of us in the group, J Theatre, who were working, were pulling our resources and pumping it into this and keeping it going. Why did we keep going, keep doing it? Because just like you and Winston and what you are doing on radio, I'm sure that sometimes it gets to the point where you know that if they ask me to pay for the privilege of sitting behind the mic, I will do it. Because of what it does for you, the fulfillment it brings. And not just that, the impact you are making out there. Because every now and then, even though society is not rewarding you enough, every now and then you meet people who show you how their perspective changed, what kind of paradigm shift they had, just watching your show. Now, my grandmother, anytime my grandmother wanted to advise me when I was small, it was always a quote from a concert party show. It is always the narrating of a scenario in one of the shows she had watched. It became her philosophy. It became the philosophy of their generation. So when we did not support them enough to continue going and they went down, part of it is what we are seeing on social media and in the conduct of people around us. That the two of you are not as old as I am, but I'm sure that even for you, young as you are, you see behavior, you see conduct there, and you wonder, who raised this person? Because you are disgusted by it. And the reason why you could see something wrong with it is that you had certain values pumped into you. It came to you in a grow way. It's become part of you. If you are told, if you have to now explain why you believe this, why you will not do certain things, why certain things mean so much to you, it will be difficult for you to, it will take time for you to, so this is where it came from. And because we have always been more about the survival, so we haven't really valued this. But those who have exposed themselves to it will tell you what a difference it has made to their view, worldview. Take Roverman, what we do. One of these days, next year if you do theater, I'll bring you 2 people who will share their stories of how our play saved them from committing suicide.
Wow.
One, a lady in Tema, the other, a gentleman in Takoradi. And the impact it had on them. One of our shows, I walk into the foyer, and there were a number of pregnant women. So I called Emeka, who handles my front of office. Emeka, why are we doing place for a senior doctor, a specialist, who handles pregnant women, came to watch our show and had her pressure lowered.
Whoa.
Her, the doctor.
Yes.
So goes back and said it was not short term. He said from that time on, she's been able to, her pressure has come down. So whenever a pregnant woman comes having some issues with the pregnancy, difficult pregnancy,
she prescribes Roverman Productions.
Ebo Whyte show.
Amazing.
Ebo Whyte show. So let's look at what that is doing. Relationships that have been healed, plenty. Friendships that have been formed. At Valentine's Day, a young man comes to me and says, "Uncle Bo, you will not remember me, but I proposed to my girl here."
Wow.
I proposed to my girl here 12 years ago, and we'll be married 10 years now. And he said, on this, our 10th anniversary, I felt I should come with her. And I said, we know you wouldn't remember us, but
That's
this is it.
beautiful.
So
That's beautiful.
those are wonderful things that can happen. But I am saying that even before my shows, Kakeku shows, and all those, my grandmother raised me and told me values, taught me values, and it would always go to a story. It will always go to a story. And that is what we are lacking, and the lack of it is what we are seeing.
Indeed. I think we've reconnected with Brew Riverson Jr. We have a better, clearer line with him now. And we're still talking about the economics of this this art form. Now, it occurs to me that if somebody brought Hollywood money, tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, and produced a top-notch movie with Ghanaian actors set in Ghana telling a Ghanaian story, he might not even break even in the theaters. But why? Why does the thing work so well economically in other parts of the world, and we're still struggling with it here?
May I resort to something Uncle Bo said? It's that simple word, integrity. It's a loaded word beyond the dictionary definition of what it is. It's the living out of it that really gives it its true essence, or otherwise. Uncle Bo said something that at the beginning, on Joy, I said, I want to do commercial theater. I want to make it work. And he kept saying something, maybe he's forgotten it. When I wrote my thesis on him, I think I mentioned it. But Uncle Bo says, we talk about showbiz, but we need to swap it around in practice. It's actually biz show. See it as a business, because if the show must keep running, if you don't have a business mindset, it's kind of, and I don't think we've come to it with that mindset. But you see, that mindset is disturbed by this lack of integrity that seems to have creeped into our society. You do a little bit of research and you realize that the people, Kwame Nkrumah started imploding because the very people around him, while this man was focused on building a nation, they were trying to build themselves. Making true what Ifemamo said, that and it's there. I'll tell you a true story. Uncle Bo asked me, with set construction. This is 2008. And Happy Wives, Confused Husbands, the first show that opened all of this.
Yeah.
And I said, there's a guy, Jojo Quanson. So I recommend Jojo Quanson. Uncle Bo follows up and uses him. And Jojo Quanson calls me and says, hey, Uncle Bo walked backstage and paid me. Who is he? I haven't told him this before. I said, but for him to walk up and say that, Madasi, it's flawed, this gentleman. Look, when I was called up. I played a small role in Deadly Voyage. My part was virtually cut out, actually.
Oh.
Because if you see the script originally, they told it to suit the white people and the thing. That's not the story as it was finally cut. The final cut version wasn't quite it.
Right.
But by the time we finished, so they knew what they were going to get, because, you see, it was a home box office stroke BBC collaboration.
Yeah. HBU,
And
yeah.
home box office knew what they were going to get, because they know the subscribers that are on and all that. For Joe Winston and Amabi, I didn't acknowledge you early on. You know, I wanted to walk to Joy one day and just say, "Would you be my little sister or my daughter?"
Oh.
When I first saw your face, I said, "What a lovely spirit." I just picked that up, but anyway, that's for another thing.
Oh.
And you know, we come back to this thing, and I said, we have been doing this thing for a while. It dates back beyond Genesis chapter X, which had George Williams, and
Yes.
beyond Avenue A. You should have seen that series. We don't even have it now to show Kofi Menz, Kofi Uenchi, Rama Blue, these people who came to us with and left us legacies. We didn't have enough duplicates of it. When GBC got burned some years ago, a lot of these things got burned out. We don't even have to keep things and archive things and keep them.
That's a tragedy.
But you see, I'm saying that we haven't put structures in place to make sure that and actually create a certain perpetuation of that which is good and keep it. I asked myself, are we going to bury somebody like Uncle, whether we like it or not? I said, Uncle Ebo has changed the face of theater. He made a promise, he's kept it. It's part of that being, you know, a man of integrity, a person. That's what we should become, and put that. The first thing we did when Uncle Ebo stepped on stage was GRA showed that they wanted their money. And yet, with my little economic knowledge, I think there's something about having a tax-free moratorium for people who are setting up businesses for about 5 years or so.
That's right.
So they can get people and employ them, because when you employ them, the government then can tax the people they pay. And then the thing can happen about 5 to 10 years without anybody showing up. Ask Kweku Simpimita, he will tell you. When he did his one-man shows at the National Theatre and filled up the National Theatre.
Yes.
He said it one day, one of his performances. And the minimum he joked, they said, "Yeah, I coach outside, almost this kind of faculty." He said it. Now see, how do you then really marshal resources and keep the thing going and really pay people well, so that they can go after their passions and really see that, oh, the little I do, I love it, yes, but it brings bread and butter on my table. And see, your attitude of testimony coming and not really appreciating what we can make valuable. Because sometimes it's not just value doesn't come up itself. You know, we need, whether we need strong men or strong institutions, a strong man with a powerful mindset, with a certain tenacity of mind and will and purpose, like Uncle Ebo has showcased. And I'm not saying this to flatter him. You know, from when you were with it, because you met your own culture. So there was this guy in Cape Coast, when Joy poached you, I said, they have poached a good thing. I mean, when Winston came, I said, what a lovely voice. You know, and they know how to poach what's good. Thankfully, I think you get better pay than maybe Tomiana Person got at DBC those days. Even though Joy did get him on later on. You think he came for this place for nothing? At least Onya Bibi Kaka. Maybe where he was before. But he also loved what he did, and even set up a school afterwards. So why didn't it pay? It's because over the years we didn't know how to. And if you want to know what I'm saying, why over the years politicians get power to become leaders? They are politicians. There's nothing wrong with politics. It's how they play it. They come to power. God gives them the resources and that structure things. But it doesn't happen We have hospitals with excellent doctors. The facilities are not there. I once recently went to check my eye. The eye pressure machine wasn't working. They kept slapping it like my old father's Akatanoma TV.
What?
So that the thing will blow air on my eye so it can measure the eye pressure.
Goodness.
And I said, what? So later I spoke to the doctor. I won't mention his name. I said, I love this place. But somebody to me the mistake I can make some machines in this. I don't and yet these get access to this power that God is giving them through my thumb to create things to make us. Then they would rather fly to South Africa and get treatment and other places. No, I bet you some of them, their ordinary checkup. My young nieces and so on into medicine, just finished medical school, can attend to them. They'd rather fly out, paid by you and me. And it translates into all these areas.
So you think that
it's
the system?
And stage work, and there's no structure that will maybe make the producer think that he'll get his money back. So he either doesn't pay you or throws peanuts at your feet. And until we can come together and say, let's stop this for this, can we create links? Why is Shirley doing well? Shirley from let's say comparatively doing well because she loves the movies and so on. She's managed to get on Aquaba Magic and Netflix, I think, on one or two of her productions. And you see, they have a systematized way where you get on, it has a way your pay comes to you. Now, Ankebo has done live dramas, and by that, believe me, if he had gone into movie, I don't think Ankebo would be struggling because really the structures aren't there. But with theater, he's been able to marshal and control the resources to some extent, the resources that come in as best as he can, so he can keep a core staff. Many production houses haven't been able to do that for years. Ankebo is saying that for the past 16 years. Is he an example well emulating? You tell me, what do academicians come and do? And I'm going to review that. They come and sit at his work to criticize it, not to see that somebody is doing something that they are not even teaching their students to do. Is it not doing? Somehow the students seem to know better. They dodge to come and be part of this production. It's a shame.
It is.
And we create this dog eat dog situation, and we don't build anything of lasting value when you have that kind of a character as a nation, as a people.
So I'm
getting. So the answer is, if you want to hear about why we can't sustain it and keep it, the remunerative part of it very strong. I don't know. That's a container that or your pen on your quacha or in container that got power your pen. What is it? Into the into ideas, no papa. But after the ideas, you start implementing. You may be no madam ideas original. Oh yes, they are not necessarily to enrich yourself, but to keep it going at all. I could tell you. Be a wood skepon, so at least be a camera. That's why I'm watching to see Bena. Said you a judgment then, not all that nonsense, legal and a part of that. I'm fearing Codon yet.
You're right about that. I get it. I completely get it. So it's a mindset thing. It's an investment thing. But really, it is this everyone trying to get the most for themselves rather than making the whole thing work, which seems to be letting us down. Brew Riverson Jnr. and Uncle Ebo Whyte are our guests. I never knew I'd ever see such a sentence, but I'm saying it today. I'm very excited. When we come back, yes, we will indeed address the Fanti issue. Stay with us.
Your morning radio.
Welcome back. 9:39. Oh goodness, I can't believe how fast the time is going. But that's what's happening. That's what happens when you're having fun. Ebenezer Henry Brew Riverson Jr. is our guest on the phone. He's a veteran actor. He's joining us from Winneba this morning. We also have here in the studio Uncle Ebo Whyte. No further explanation required. And they are helping us understand the very pivotal and important role that drama, theater, the arts play in our lives as Ghanaians, and it's part of our Ghana Month conversation. I think in this last part of the conversation just before we say goodbye. We'll do two things. First of all, let's address the Fanti issue. I mean, I think it's starting to look quite obvious that some people have a talent for this thing over others. Anamobwa and Klebu.
I didn't know that Tyler Perry is a Fanti.
He probably is. How do
I didn't know that Kevin Hart is a Fanti. I didn't know that Dave Chappelle
he probably
is a Fanti.
I like to
and I
think
didn't know that Kumawood is in the central region.
Well, Uncle, maybe you should, one
No,
of these days.
No. It's very, very good point.
It's
Very
not
important
interesting.
points. Yes.
That we have Kumawood.
Yeah.
We don't have
Ugwa Wood.
yeah.
Maybe Kojo will set that one up.
No, Kojo denied his fantiness for money.
Oh how? Oh how? Never.
He decided to continue. So
This one has been recorded.
This never happened.
This has been recorded. It will be played back.
If you look at the ethnic history of Ghana, each ethnic group made the best use of the opportunities available to it. So there is an ethnic group who in the past were known as the cocoa farmhands.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what they are. But when they came to the south, that was what was available. So they got into that. But as society opened up and as more opportunities became more liberalized, people found their levels. And so there was a time this art form of theater, of even the concert party. Don't forget that the entertainment revolved around the expatriate community, and some people, the seamen, and things like that. These were the consumers of that kind of entertainment, and so those who happened to be around that place easily got into it. But now, I bet you that there are more non-fantis in theater and in the arts than there are fantis.
Yeah, there have to be actually. Think about it.
Unfortunately, some of them, I would say, are in the wrong professions. I mean, if you take Kojo, for instance, what is Kojo doing in a radio station? Handling Super Morning Show.
Kwesi is listening. I beg you.
Kojo,
salary.
Kojo should be starring in some blow man kind of thing. Kojo will make a good action hero.
No. Kojo's kind of plays, or movies. We know them.
Winston, what are you saying?
We know them.
What are you saying?
No, you will be a spy. You do when a spy. Oh, a spy who's, the stock in trade of 007.
The Spy Who Loves Me.
Yeah. Is that the only one you can mention?
You're talking about the spy.
Yeah, Kojo's,
somebody should save me from this
Kojo's
conversation.
facility with relating to the opposite sex. I mean, it will be fantastic. And with his good looks, with his penchant for dressing well, and for speaking good English. And you know how good English turns a lot of people.
Yeah, and you know his Barracuda stories.
No, I haven't heard of that.
Brew Riverson Jnr. is on the line. Let's go straight to him now.
So have your question been answered?
Yes, I think so. I hope I'm not going from frying pan to fire now. Brew. Any redemption from your camp? So yeah, the ethnic question. I mean, I think Uncle Ebo has really answered it quite well. So let's look at the way forward. Let's look at the future. We've identified, the shortcomings, but what's the solution here? What needs to happen in order for theater and drama to take its rightful place in our national identity?
I think from the government of the nation.
Oh, I think we've got the problem with the interference again. I'm so sorry. We apologize to you, Brew Riverson Jr. If there's a radio near you, that might be causing it. I don't know if you could turn it off or down, move away from it.
Hello.
Yeah, we seem to be having some feedback from something. I'm not sure what, but we're going to be working on that. Let's see if we can get that fixed, which means Brew will give us the final word, because we're coming back to Uncle Ebo to talk solutions. Yeah.
The first thing is that those who are called into this art should begin to affirm themselves of their importance. Society, we shouldn't wait for society to accord us our place. We should take it. Society will come along. So that's the first one. Let us understand that it is not inferior to anything.
Yeah.
We don't need to make an apology. We don't need to be ashamed of it. It is wonderful. And I tell people that your children, when they are growing up and they want to dress, they don't dress like a politician. They don't dress like a pastor. They'll dress as a performer, like a performer, their favorite performer.
Yeah.
That tells you the impact we have. If a popular actor lands at a funeral with a politician, trust me, where the people will go.
Indeed.
And where the cheers will go.
Yeah.
So let us understand that, and if you are called into this, you have the attitude for this. Understand this is an awesome field to be in. It's wonderful. It's God-given, and its impact is deep, and it is lifelong. The second thing is, having done that, let us take ourselves seriously. Let us take the things we do, what we do with our own money.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my friends who was a big music star in his day. This was in the 80s and 90s. One of the biggest. Now, could you note the dates? In the 80s, this guy went to Kumasi to perform and was given 2 million cedis.
Oh, wow.
In the 80s. That was how big he was.
Whoa.
He said, when I got to Accra, I had to let the taxi driver wait at the gate whilst I went in to ask my mother for money to pay the taxi.
I'm confused.
Scanco. Chopped the money, spent it.
How? And why? Wow.
So let us begin to take ourselves seriously and because every other profession, if people lived like the way some people in the arts live, they would also be poor.
Yeah.
So let's take that seriously. And then let's begin to seek for excellence. You can't just throw anything to the audience. Ghanaians have money. Ghanaians have champagne taste, but they have money for appetition. But they insist on the champagne taste. And you've got to find a way of giving them the champagne. You know, even though they may not have the money for it, but they want it. And so the days of mediocre performances and shows that have not been well rehearsed, shows that start late in this time. When the show starts about an hour late, what's the excuse for that? You gave us a time. You know, we as the patrons did not come to you and say, Kojo, we want you to start at this time. You, Kojo, said, 7 o'clock, I'll be ready for you guys.
Yeah.
We have come at 7. Why are you starting at 8? Those are some of the things that let's seek for excellence. If somebody came to watch your show twice, he should be able to see consistency. not that, is it the same show I watch? If anything, it should be higher, not lower.
Yeah.
If we can present people from, people what they really would go, wow, then we are doing something. Now, there are people who are offended that Roverman Productions is doing well. They are offended. I've heard one person say, why is everybody talking about Uncle Ebo Whyte? Is he the only person who does plays?
Wow.
Well, the thing is this, that we work so hard that one of the most common comments I receive from people who are watching us for the first time is, I didn't know something like this was possible in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know something like this was going on in Ghana. And I told them, of course, if you hadn't come, there would be no way you would have known.
Indeed.
It's because we work hard to ensure that, because I know that the person who is coming this quarter is the same person I'm going to try to appeal to come next quarter.
Yeah.
I must give him a reason for coming next quarter.
The standard must improve.
Yes. It must be worth his time.
Yeah.
He doesn't owe me attendance.
Yeah.
I must give him a reason to go away and think that it was worth my time. And I have a philosophy. My patron must go away feeling he has cheated me, that he got more value for what he paid for.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy. So let's take ourselves seriously. Let's not take our patrons for granted. And let us be so convinced of our place in the progress and the development of society.
Yeah. I'm going to give the final word to Brew, who I think we've reconnected with now. We literally have 1 minute to go. So, but the final word is yours. The way forward.
The way forward is let's study best practices. Nkrumah was asked, how are you going to build this nation? I mean, in 100 years, like America, I said, no. I have the examples of good things they've done to emulate. They have done terrible things. I've seen that I can avoid it. So, emulating, looking at and picking out the bad fish from the good ones, I should be able to build this country in lesser time than they have.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we look at best practices, how did Uncle make it? I told a cousin who didn't want to marry, I asked him why. He said, about 9 out of 10 marriages don't work. And I said, if you had to marry, would you go to the 9 that have collapsed? Well, you should, but go and find out more from the one that has stood amid the 10, how they made it work. Yeah. And then let's follow best practice, put structures in place, and let's decide that it's about all of us. And if we make it stand, and that's the way to go.
Yeah.
That is the way to go.
Yeah.
There's one thing going to critique Uncle Ebo's play. There's one thing going to criticize to put it down. Mm-hmm. You don't learn anything that way. I mean, referring to the latter one.
Yeah.
So let us critique it. That's positive. And say, what's he doing well? What's he not doing so well? Why has he done so well in the midst of? And then pick it up from there.
Yeah.
And we may not have us all forever, but the legacies we leave would outlive us.
Indeed.
Let's look at it that way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just got a text message from Fifi Banson, who says that he was proud to MC on Happy Wives.
Confused Husbands.
Yes, that very first show in 2008.
Yes, he did.
Yes. So he says thank you for that opportunity.
He dressed like you.
Hey.
It was a white dress. Fifi, Mikhail, how you were dressed.
That's wonderful. Well, we've got so many text messages from people who have absolutely loved today's conversation. I want to say a big thank you to Uncle Ebo Whyte and to Brew Riverson Jnr., who both.
Once you say thank you, tell them that my show is tomorrow.
Yes, it starts tomorrow. Please
it
make
starts
sure
tomorrow.
You're in there.
Dubai or no sex.
Yes.
It's going tomorrow, one show, and then Saturday 2, Sunday 3, and Monday 2 shows.
Another 2.
Yes. So
you have no excuse for missing it. I have no excuse for missing it.
1 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m.
On Sunday.
Right. On Sunday.
On
right?
Sunday.
Okay.
Tell Kojo.
Yes.
Kojo used to be a very loyal patron.
Yes. Then my fellow theater mates, stopped inviting me. So
She came with her husband
Oh,
the last
really?
time.
They have abandoned me. Okay. All right. So listen, thank you both so much. Brew Riverson Jnr., what a delight to have you on the show. Thank you so much. And Uncle Ebo, thanks once again.
Eben, wonderful as always. God bless you, Eben.
Yeah.